All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Welcome. Hi, how you doing? Hope you're having a great day today. So, today, as you could probably tell, we're doing that long-awaited Valk guide. So, without further ado, what's on today's agenda? We're going through passive, tactical, ultimate, some tips and tricks for each. I'll maybe try and pull some gameplay up if I have any, and I hope you guys enjoy. So, first things up, we're starting with her passive, the jetpack. So, if I go into legend, right, and toggle legend details, it says press space while in air, or if I'm on controller, it's A, right? To engage jetpack and gain threat vision. You can switch between hold and toggle modes in the settings. Now, I would always recommend having this on hold, right? So, that will be right movement. It'll be right here in settings. Hold, not toggle. Always. So, how this works is you first have to jump. You can't just hold. You have to jump in the air and then press whatever your jump input is. So for keyboard mouse, that would be space. And for controller, that would be A, or whatever you have it bound to. Or what was it for PlayStation? Square, I believe? Circle? No, I think it's circle. So you tap, hold to fly, right? And now with her new buff, you can fly pretty high, right? It's pretty high up in the air. But notice how it takes a long time to come down. So you can fly left and right, circles, wherever you want to go. And then say if I have a gun, right? Another thing, if you have a gun and you're shooting, ignore my poor shots. You're shooting, right? And then you fly. Like if I crack this guy, I can't shoot him while I'm in the air unless I let go, right? So I can't shoot now, but now I can shoot. So you can't shoot while you are flying, but you can shoot while you're falling. Oh, important to know. So that's why weapons such as the Mastiff, I'll just grab some stuff here, is really good because you can kind of fly over, shoot, fly over, shoot as you fall, the whole shebang. And there's a few more tips and tricks with that I'll mention later on, but that's your basic. You can fly in any direction, and actually a secret mechanic that you can do with this is whatever your aim button is, so either like your trigger or your right click or whatever, you fly and then you aim, you stay on the same vertical level. You only fly horizontally. So, and you'll notice that in the bottom and the right on the fly mode, it takes a little time after you hit the ground to start regenerating. I think it's 2 seconds, but if you'll notice, if I just get rid of it a lot here, it doesn't start recharging until I've touched the ground. So you can't recharge it while you're in the sky and just infinitely fly. So that's your passive. So for the tactical, you have missile swarm, right? So if I aim it at this guy, I launch a bunch of missiles that will do damage, stun, and also highlight whatever enemy you hit. Now, for Valk, it's kind of bad showcase because I can already see them highlighted because of my recon passive, which actually I will recon passive. Gain threat vision when aiming down sights. That's why they're highlighted in red. But then missile swarm, you fire your rockets, which do damage and disorient the enemy, and I believe it also highlights. I could be wrong, they might have reverted that change. But if I missile you and it hits you, yeah, they get outlined a little bit for your teammates. So, and I believe, I believe it is a 25 second cooldown. Excuse me. So that's the missiles. You can, for example, there's a few ways you can use it. You can use it to break doors, for example. I'll quick run over and show you that. If I get it back here. So you can break doors with it. Like so. Sometimes it might not break both, but you can break doors with it. You stun your enemies with it. You can use it as an area denial tool. It has a few uses. What I tend to do with it most is if I get somebody low and they're behind cover, or I need to take cover, like I need to heal, I'll just quick throw out attack, and then I'll take my cover, start healing. Or if they're taking cover and they're healing, like say they're behind this, I'll shoot it over it. And then sometimes you can secure your knock, or you can stun people who are maybe rezzing the enemy that you knocked. And then you can get your free push, free cleanup. So it's really nice, really helpful. And actually, one of my perks, full coverage, allows you to change the pattern. So actually, I'll do something as well. So if you hold it, you'll see the pattern in which it deploys in, right? And then obviously you can aim it. And then I believe if you melee, nope, that's not it. Wrong button. Anyway, I believe if you melee, it cancels the missiles, so you can you don't waste it like I just did. So just wanted to highlight that real quick. And now for the ultimate. So for the ultimate, we have her Skyward Dive. Press once to prepare for launch, and then teammates can hop on, or you can go solo. And you press it again to launch into the air and then skydive. It's like your balloons, or it's like a evac tower or the balloons around maps. It's really nice for in a quick pinch. So I'll show you what that looks like right here. So press Z. I am in this launching animation, right? So, and also I can Valk, sorry, I forgot to mention, one of her passives is this UI, the green UI that you may see sometimes. And even if you're not playing Valk, you might see enemies highlighted or something in green. That will be because you have a Valk on your team. And so I have this green UI, which highlights enemies when I'm flying, whether it be off of a tower or off my own ultimate or an evac tower. Does not work on grav cannons, though. Only when you're skydiving. So, in this takeoff animation, I can change my angle where I'm looking, although that doesn't matter too much. I can turn it off with my ultimate button again, and she recently got a buff, which allows me to instantly repop it, which is really nice. That didn't used to be a thing, and that was really annoying because you would cancel because your teammate wouldn't join you or something, and you'd go down to 75 on your ult. So, takes a second to boot up, and then your teammates can hop on you. It's your interact button, and then you burn, you launch, and then there's all the enemy highlights that I was talking about. And you can fly anywhere you want, right? And now there is a synergy with your Q, which I will show you here. So the synergy with her Q is you fly. Obviously all the enemies are highlighted, but if you'll see on my right by my altitude, it says Q for missile swarm. So you press your tactical button, and then you can launch your missiles as you land. And you'll tell they're stunned, so it's a great way to just land on people and just fry them, right? So, really overpowered, especially if you're trying to take a fight and say, this is a team right here. And this guy's singled out over here. These guys are in a building or whatnot. He's not in cover. You missile him, kill him, and then it's a 3v2. So, it's really nice. And so with your ult, you can obviously rotate. You can get out of a pinchy situation. You can run away from a fight if you need. Say both of your teammates die. You can hide behind some cover and then pop it. So I'll give you an example. So if I were to get shot in this animation, if I were to get killed in this animation, my teammates are stranded. If I get killed in this animation, my teammates fall back down and are stranded. When you're in the skydive and I get shot, I fall to the ground, but my teammates are good. Everybody's flying at that point. So they continue to fly, but I fall straight down to the ground. So I apologize for not having that information. I've got that one wrong. So you can take some damage, but if you die, you strand your teammates unless you're skydiving. So keep that in mind when you Valk ult. Typically you want to Valk ult and cover. So if I'm fighting a team here, I'm not going to Valk ult in the open. I am going to try and Valk ult behind a wall. That gives me enough clearance, vertical clearance, so as I go up and I charge it, before I blast off, I don't get my head taken off. So, little piece of advice there. Be careful where you fly. And so we're gonna talk about perks here now. So let me grab that real quick. So first perks. You have Eyes in the Sky, which reveals enemies from further away and through walls. Now, this is really good in ranked. For example, I would highly recommend it in ranked. So when you're rotating or if you're looking for fights, you can see them from, I think it's 200 meters, 250 meters away. It's a long ways. It's really good. And I think the normal range is 150 to 100. So you get quite a good upgrade, and you can see them through walls. So you can see people in buildings or see people like on the other side of a wall that divides the map, for example. And so like I said earlier, if there's a team in a building and one of their teammates is soloed out, you can see that. You can see that there's the team in the building, so you're not guessing where their teammates are, but you can still single that guy out. So that one's very useful. It's probably your better go-to for ranked, or even pubs maybe. And then full coverage, you get -5 second tack cooldown, and your pattern is modified. So I will show this one out real quick because it's a lot harder to visualize. So instead of the pattern earlier, now we have a wider pattern, right? So more area but less depth. More horizontal area but less depth to the area in which you shoot. And also your cooldown goes from 25 seconds now to 20. So it's pretty good. It makes your tack a little bit easier to hit. But if you're good with your tack, you can usually line it up. It's not the worst thing. So if in almost any situation, I am picking Eyes in the Sky over this one. And then for tier 2 perks, we have Supersonic, we have Aerial Expert. Now, I'm going to showcase Supersonic, excuse me. But first, I'm going to show you like how quick the base ult is, right? So boom, and then boom, right? See how slow that is? So I am going to land on the charge tower, get my ult back, and then I will pick that perk, and I will show you how much quicker it is. So, ult back, did not mean to Q, I meant to press Supersonic. So Supersonic, boom, and then boom. Much quicker. So, this is typically what I would pick in ranked, or basically whenever you're playing with a team, I would say. You're going to want to pick that one because you go up a lot quicker. It gives you, it's so much harder to shoot you out of it. and it makes survivability a lot easier. And especially if you're in a sticky situation or if ring's coming in and you're trying to beat out second or third zone with your ult, just boot it up, let your teammates hop on, and you're up. It's so much better. Now, I will also show you the other. All right, and so we're back. So now I will go for Aerial Expert, which improves your jetpack boosting speed and handling a little bit. So this is what it is like without it, right? It's nice, but it's more of a vertical tool than a horizontal, as you can see. Unless you, of course, hold aim while you fly, but even then, it's still kind of slow, right? So, then we pick Aerial Expert. And look how much quicker that is already. Right? So, much better. So, it's a lot more maneuverable. And then if I were to hold, it's a lot quicker in a straight line as well. So it's a little bit better. It's good for say taking height. Like if I'm fighting down here, I'm fighting this guy, shoot him, crack him. I want to take height. Cool. That's really good for that. But you can kind of do that without that upgrade anyway. It just makes it a little bit quicker, and in my opinion it's marginal. It's not even major. So it's nice, don't get me wrong, like flying circles around somebody, it's cool and all, but typically whenever you're playing with a team, the fast roll is going to be better. Now I'm going to get into a few tips and tricks real quick. So tip number 1 involves our passive, the jetpack. Whenever you are flying and you interact, you will fall slower, like spacewalking almost. It's really funny, right? Let me hit it. Boom, and I'm floating. It's really, really funny. Don't know how it works. It's kind of just a funny interaction, right? So, I don't know. It's really funny if you want to ever show your friends something. It's pretty cool. It's tip number 1. And then with her tactical, I kind of already told you a lot of the use cases I go for, just knocking people you got low or securing kills that are behind cover. Those kinds of things. With your ults, definitely play behind cover. Don't let your head be exposed because you will get beamed. Very dangerous. So pick and choose wisely, and don't be afraid to leave your teammates with your ult. Now, I'm not saying this like don't ever wait for them to get on, but there are often times where your teammates far away or they're already rotating, or say it's an Octane. They've got their stim and they've got Octane pads most likely now that he has 2. So if you're in a pinch and you need to go, you can leave him. You can leave your Octane. And maybe 1 or 2 other characters depending, but oftentimes you wait and it'll kill you. Like if you're trying to outrun zone, sometimes it's better to just play your life. And I've done that in ranked as well. When my team loses a fight, sometimes I just fly away and reset. It's real easy to reset on Valk because I just fly up, I open my map, I ping a replicator, and then I will fly over to it. And then I will be able to have my teammates back in maybe a minute. It's really nice. So don't be afraid to play your life, because Valk, out of all the legends, if you take a look at all these legends, Valk can play her life really well. Crypto, you're really good at reviving people. Octane is obviously very selfish. Wraith is also good for getting out. But Valk is incredibly good at playing your life. You can recognize when a situation goes wrong. You can get out. You can bring your teammate if you have a teammate or two that are right next to you when you make the call, it's like, yeah, we gotta leave. We're getting third partied or fourth partied. We need to go now. So it's incredibly good for resetting fights and taking the game into your own hands, essentially, instead of letting the RNG gods decide your fate. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on is a special technique involving her passive. Now, this has saved my life countless times. I've been playing Valk since season 13. I've been playing Valk since season 13. I've been with her through the good days and the bad days. And this tech, this movement has saved my life so many times. Now, what I have coined this as is pack strafing. So not tab strafing, pack strafing. It's similar, but it's not. So I mean, if I so tab strafing, right? You move, you obviously change your direction. Now with the Valk jets, you you go and you can change your direction, obviously. I actually hold on. I am going to customize range. I'm going to reset my upgrades so I'm not moving too fast because I want to give a showcase on how this works without the fast upgrade. So, tab strafing is obviously a very good evading tool, but pack strafing involves, and the trick with it is what a lot of people will do is they'll hold their jetpack to get away. But notice I'm halfway through my bar and I'm already that high up off the ground. That's really easy to shoot out of this guy. And it's a big mistake I see a lot of Valk players make. They will fly too much. And yes, that might seem a little counterintuitive, but oh, I've got this jetpack. I'm up here. But these three people, if they're any good, will fry me. And I will come back down to the ground, shields broken, on probably 50, 60 HP. It's just the way the game is now. It's tough. So what I like to do is I like to say it's less is more. You still obviously have this amazing tool, but the more you fly and the higher up you are, especially, the easier it is to sabotage yourself. You're giving you're taking your advantage and you're giving it right to the enemy team, essentially. You're taking your aerial advantage. The sky is yours. Everything that is above you is yours as a Valk player. You own the sky. But if you live in the sky, essentially, you will take your advantage and you will make it the enemy team's advantage. They can be like, "Oh, he's flying a lot. He's singled out. He's not moving fast. That's a free beam. Let's 3-2-1 him." So, what I like to say is obviously running is slow and it's boring, but so that's why I pack strafe oftentimes. And what that is I'll give a brief example. It's flying, 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 right? I'm weaving, I'm dodging, weaving, bobbing, the whole shebang, right? Now, with the Valk got her first use consumption nerfed. And what I mean by that is when you initially boost, watch the fuel meter. When you initially boost, it uses up a chunk. If you see that. So that was nerfed. You used to be able to do this more, and it used to actually boost you more in the air. But they nerfed it to help balance out the rest of her kit. Because they did buff the jetpack, they did add more fuel, reduce the recharge time, which is really good. She's in a great place now. And I think that them nerfing the boost and the first boost consumption was quite fair. Meanwhile, it does limit how much you can pack strafe. So before the nerf, the quote unquote nerf, I could maybe pack strafe from maybe this side to right about here, right? Back and forth. little bit. So I'll let that recharge real quick as an accident. I used to be able to like go back and forth, right? And I used to be able to get to about like there, right? Now that's not the case because it takes a lot more to get going. Now, you could just go forward and you get a lot more out of it, like so. But then that also presents an easy target. If you just imagine this guy like just track vertically, vertically up and down, right? So that's why whenever you pack strafe, you want to be moving left to right, right? Now, there I'm using my pack strafe technique that I've had to kind of adjust after the nerf. It's tap and hold, if you'll notice. Tap, hold, tap, hold, tap, hold, tap, hold, right? Before, when the boost was stronger and it didn't use as much, I used to just tap, 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 and now you can't even do it. Like if you'll notice, whenever I say tap, I'm pressing my space bar, but it's not coming out. They nerfed that. You used to be able to tap, 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 right? But now the jetpack doesn't come out half the time. And I used to be able to go like boom, 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 back and forth. Like rapid direction, like this. Except forwards, almost. It was really strong. Which is why I'm kind of fine with the nerfs. Because I've adapted my pack strafing style to work with it. Instead of just tapping, right? And that also just runs through the fuel so quickly that it's not efficient. But tap hold, tap hold, tap hold, tap hold. You can cover a lot of ground. You can get around corners. So like if I'm running from a team here, pack strafe. That was a horrible example. Let's redo that. That's absolutely ridiculous. Pack strafe, pack strafe, pack strafe. And then I'm here. And that's not easy to hit, right? Because I'm going left, right, and then up and around, right? If you're tracking that, you'll be here, here, and then you gotta account for this, and then you got your weapon recoil. That's not easy. And especially on controller players, I think it's a lot harder to hit people in the sky. So like if I pick up my controller here, I'm trying to do that. Like I have so much less control, right? So quick pick up my keyboard mouse again. It's pack strafe, pack. And that was a horrible example because once again, my jetpack didn't come out. And that leads me to a warning. I think there may be a bug going on or a slight error in the way the passive works. Sometimes the jetpack isn't coming out when I press space or my jump key. So, just a little something to be aware about. Don't spam it. And that may be it. Maybe it's an activation timer that's new or hidden, or that I just haven't ever encountered before. But it's something I've noticed this season in particular. Just be careful that you're giving it some time to breathe. But the whole flying into cover is really, really strong in evading enemies. I have been able to escape situations with my pack strafing techniques that I wouldn't have been able to do with anybody else. And just stuff like that. It's faster than running. You're creating a little space. You're creating separation. They're going to try and shoot you out of that. So they're going to dump their mags, have to reload, which slows them down even more. And then you can drop real quick, mantle over that, maybe super glide if you can. And then you have your fuel back and you're on top of the roof. You have height. They try and climb up, shoot them. Or if I'm crossing, right? Pack strafe. Boom. You don't gotta overdo it. I'll show you an example of that. You don't gotta overdo it. You don't fly up, right? And then fall down. Because when you're going up like that, All it takes is, for example, somebody to be here just being like, oh, there's a Valk flying, right? So the more movement in, the less predictable you can be in the air, and generally the less altitude you gain, in my opinion, the better off you are. Like, I barely reached that, right? Like, I didn't go way above. I barely got there. But I went back and forth. I was a lot harder to hit. And I did the mantle animation, which, pro tip, if you made it this far, congratulations, you've unlocked this amazing tip. If you're flying, right, and you land, it takes a second to get your gun out. But if you're flying and you mantle, you get your gun out immediately. Another tip. So you land, lower, mantle, gun out, and I can beam them if you're pushing somebody. Instead of flying in, landing, now my gun's out. And then if you're movement demon, right, you climb up this super glide, right? That wasn't a super glide. Forgive me, I'm not there yet. Super glide, boom. You can tap strafe, boom. This guy's dead. The second guy, if there's two guys up here, you super glide, tap strafe, you kill this guy. This guy's gonna be wondering how the hell you're moving so quick. And then you can maybe get him too, depending on if you hit your shots or depending on if he shot you while you were killing that guy. It's really strong, right? So Valk is one of my most enjoyed legends for these reasons. And then a final tip that I just thought of is, obviously, when you fall down, you get stun animation, like so. With Valk, you fall, you can break your fall. And that wasn't a good example because I didn't have fuel in the tank. So I will do that again. You go up. Now, this would be hard enough to stun, tap, boom, your fall is broken. And that works when you're moving forward as well. So I fly, right? I'll take stun, boom, and I'm moving. So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed the video. I greatly hope that you learned something. And if you want a more in-depth pack strafing technique video later on, and I'll try and put some clips up to help show you what I'm talking about in a more gameplay environment, like mid-match. But if you want a more in-depth guide to that, I would love to do that as well. I love sharing this movement. I love sharing the tech with as many people as I can. And it's helpful for anybody, in my opinion. Not just Valk mains, anybody who wants to play her. So, with that being said, I thank you so much for watching. It means all the world to me. Hope you have a great day. And I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you very much.